What is the story, team? You are very welcome back to the Iron Mindset. I am, as always, your host, Iron Ian. Now, I have been absent from making these videos for a couple of weeks. The biggest reason for that is I have this folder, or well, I should say notes on my phone of all these questions I've been asked through Instagram. And I'll be frank, a lot of them aren't really worth sitting down and making a YouTube video for. They'd be more something I'd post on IGTV. However, I use this app you are seeing on your screen now. Now it's an app it's an app usually, but now you're seeing the web browser version of it. This is called True Coach, and this is the interface I use with my clients to send them their programs, do their macros. So I thought it would be a novel idea for a little while is I'm going to start putting my own training. So I've added myself as a client and I'm logging my workouts. So at the moment I've no planned competitions coming up in powerlifting, so I'm in a build phase. I'm in I'm trying to build muscle. I'm trying to challenge myself through various different variations of the big three: squat, bench, and deadlift. And I am doing a lot of volume. So we're going to have a little look and see the last 4 days of training. I'm done. Any notes I've made. If any of my clients are watching, this is usually how I'd like you to log your workouts. And I'll explain a few things along the way what the thought process is. So to be clear, I am using the ABS powerlifting template. So ABS run a system where it's obviously adapted to each individual lifter, but it's a template that all the lifters follow. As you can see here, the title at the top of the screen. So it's week 1, day 1 build. It's Iron Ian Cross ABS powerlifting template, and we're on a build. So basically what that means is I have put a little bit of my own swing on it, but I'm keeping the structure, the spirit of exactly the way ABS would do it. I've just changed things slightly to accommodate for when I'm in work, or I have a little less time than I would like, or I'm not training on comp equipment, etc. So I did get down to ABS for one of the sessions this week, and we'll get into it and I'll show you some of the things. So the first day, this was on Tuesday, so I still keep strict to the ABS days, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Tuesday, October 12th. High bar squats, we had 3 sets of 8, rest approximately 2 to 3 minutes, and our tempo is 2010. So that means control on the way down, no pause, 1 on the way up, a brief stop at the top just to see how you're getting on. So these are the notes I did. Trib A at 150 was an RP6, which means it was fine. Very, very easy sets, no belt, could increase 5 to 10 kilos next week following 5 a.m. start. So on this is like a badly worded note. I started work on Tuesday at 5 a.m. So it was up at 4:30, start at 5, and this was me training at about 2 o'clock. So I'm confident that I could increase my weight even though I had been awake a significant amount of time and may otherwise be tired. So as you see, I'm not using a belt. I'm in a high bar position and I'm squatting 150 kilos. This is in the Alico area downstairs in Fly Fit Swords. As you can see, the acceleration of the bar is absolutely fine. This bar is quite wobbly, as you'll see that little wobble at the top. So that can throw you off a little bit, but that's why I take that second at the stop just to let it settle a little bit. I am using my squat shoes, my Do Wins, my SBD knee sleeves, and I might have my wrist straps on, although I don't think so. In any case, yeah, so set moved absolutely fine. No reason there couldn't be more weight on that bar. Happy with how that was. So this, because it's the first week, I would go a little more reserved my first week of a new block just to suss out how the overall workload is and how to manage it. So happy enough with that. 1 set recorded. That was the second set. So number 2 was 3x3 on bench press, rest as needed. Tempo is 2-1-1-2. So control down, brief pause on the chest, press off, and then a brief stop at the top just to reset the position. Then complete tempo bench 2x5, rest 2-3 minutes at so 4 on the way down, stop on the chest, press on the way up. So I did 2 sets of 3. This is on the comp bench, or the heavier bench, at 120, and then the next set at 1x3 at 122.5. So this is important. The weight doesn't feel too bad. Slippery bench on first 2 sets was an annoyance. Got bands, so I crossed bands over on the third set to help my just so I wouldn't slide. Third set video, 2x3 on tempo bench at RP 5 to 6, felt good and in control. So here I've only got the top set on bench press. So at the moment I'm having quite a bit of discomfort in my anterior shoulder around here whenever I'm doing any pressing exercises. So if I go overhead, it's like almost like a pinch sensation. but I still have full range of motion and I can relatively comfortably get into all these positions, so there's no reason I can't train these positions. I would just watch my overall load and intensity and volume for the week and see if it's making it worse or making it better, or am I okay. So right now it's fine, and I find that the more sets I do, the easier it feels. One of the thing that's triggered all this is I have an old wrestling injury from when I used to do pro wrestling. I caught a guy in a crossbody, so that's when he jumps off the rope at you like this, and he just happened to be quite heavy, and whatever way I caught him, this shoulder just couldn't take the load, and since then it would be on and off. And it's actually the 2 weeks I had COVID when I wasn't training as much, that's when it got worse. So I know the dose for me with my shoulder is somewhere between no training, which makes it worse, and too much training, which makes it worse. So the sweet spot, the poison is in the dose as always. So this is 122.5 for 3, which is like would in the past be considered a relatively lightweight for me here. As you can see, it's moving absolutely fine. I'm pretty happy with my elbow position, especially on this right side, because this elbow as a compensation tends to flare, just trying to get the load off, and a nice dramatic exit. You'll see Vinny and I are wearing the same like olive colored SBD t-shirt. I was wearing an abs t-shirt and I changed so we could match. So I trained with Vinny that day and fucking somebody else, Stephen Brady, 2 trainers in Fly Fit Swords. So then I had snatch grip deadlift. This is my variation for the deadlift on the day. 3x6 rest 2 minutes. Tempo is 2-2-2-2-2-1-2. So 2 on the way down, a little bit of control. To be honest, the tempos aren't strict. This is how I put them in for clients, just as a guideline. So it was 3x6 at 120 at RP5. So very simple. Use straps mainly to comp deadlift a day early this week. So I used straps specifically to save my grip because there was a chance I was going to need to deadlift on Wednesday instead of Thursday. It didn't end up playing out that way. So I could definitely push this. Could push this next week. Very handy. So I'm actually starting on top of the first rep because just how the recording went. And as you can see, the relative speed of the bar is way, way too easy. I could absolutely drive this up. But again, first week into the new block, so we're taking a little handier and just seeing how everything feels. Overall, nothing to complain about here. I could probably lose the straps if I wanted to increase the difficulty without adding load. But again, I'm saving my grip for that Thursday because I'm training in abs, doing my deadlifts on the Eleiko bar. It's a little tougher on the old calluses. All right, so we had accessories. So it was dips 3x10, seated shoulder press 3x10, and lateral raise 3x10. So nice and easy. Dips 3x10 at body weight, seated shoulder press 3x10 at 25 kilo dumbbells. So quite light and quite light lateral raise. All felt super easy and could be progressed immediately. Mild pinching / discomfort in right shoulder during shoulder press, not a limiting factor. So I would usually press 30s or 35s, but I wanted to start a little easier. So here we go. This is a nice easy set of dips. So trying to control on the way down. I actually find doing dips and pull-ups over time helps my elbows and shoulders, which would be 2 things a lot of powerlifters would complain about. I used to get like elbow pain, golfer's elbow on the inside of the elbow. Don't really get that anymore. So that, again, nice handy set. I like doing dips. So they've kind of fallen out of my programming lately, so I'm going to bring them back in. And I just left myself a note. Workout time approx 2 hours. Training Vinny Chung and Stephen Brady would likely have gotten done faster, but the banter was good. So yeah, I usually would get all that done in probably an hour and a half, maybe a little less, depending if I'm being super strict with breaks. But when you train with other people, naturally you get into conversations, but that helps keep you adherent. So I had the time that day, so it wasn't bad. So this was day 2, and this is the primary deadlift day. So here's what's important. I didn't start with this exercise, but this is just the order they're filled in at. So it was low bar back squat, 3x6, rest 3 minutes. So 3x6 at 170, RP6, no belt, felt fine, no wrist straps on first video, which is this one. So usually we wouldn't comp squat this day necessarily. You might sometimes see like pause squat. The reason I'm comp squatting is since COVID, my first week back to training, I was so knackered, but after my first 3 days of training, I didn't actually get to my Sunday squats. And then I had a work thing then the next week, so it was 2 weeks without Sunday squats. So I did that Sunday just gone, I got my squats in, which you will, actually that's 2 weeks now I've got my squats in. But I wanted to throw in another comp squat day just to practice the skill. So as you can see on this set, the 170 is moving absolutely fine. I know I look a little frazzled here, but like the 170 is moving fine, not a bother, no belt, just going through the range of motion, just pushing up hard through the shoulders. Again, this is after the deadlifts and after the bench. It's just to get back into the practice of low bar. I'll probably like do something else instead of this in 4 to 6 weeks, depending on if it's helping or not, if it's starting to bother me. So close grip bench press, 4x5, rest 2 to 3 minutes for 4x5 at 117.5 RP7. Weight is manageable. Adjust your grip to accommodate right anterior shoulder discomfort. So as I mentioned, right shoulder's giving me a bit of grief. So again, nice and easy. There's nothing, this is the thing I'm having. The pressing is fine, but it gets quite uncomfortable, and that causes me to shift slightly out of the pattern I would have found most efficient over time. I'm probably bringing the bar maybe a little low on my chest, but overall I'm not too upset about it. It's a tricep dominant one. So 2x3 on deadlift. I did one set of 3 at 240, and I said, I wrote here, happy with this, heaviest set in a while, definitely post COVID. So just before COVID, we were doing 5s in training, so sets 5, and I was pulling 225 like it was nothing. I probably would have worked that up to 245, 250 over time, but COVID hit me, lost a bit of weight, lost a lot of endurance, but a bit of strength. So it's the staying power that got me. So I reduced the load for the second set, 230. Reduced load after this, moved fine, though likely approached it with less mental preparedness than previous sets. So I didn't approach this set like it was going to be as heavy as it was. Because I had pulled the 240, I thought this would be easy, but by doing that, I made the RP artificially higher. Following that, I did pause deadlift 2x3 at 160, RP 6, felt grand, no belt. Pausing immediately off the floor, felt good, feels solid, could increase. So I include all these notes so I know when I look back. So one of the cool things about True Coach is I can view my exercise history and see how I've progressed over time. Now, naturally, this is my first week login, so I can't show you that. But like in the next 4 to 6 weeks, let's say, I could look back on this and see, have I improved position? Is weight going up, but intensity staying the same? So I've got 2 videos here. We'll watch the pause first. So this was the pause. I like to pause just there, just off the floor, immediate as I break the floor. Because that would usually be, if I'm going to come out of position, it would usually be there. Now, there's nothing wrong with pausing any higher than that, but I just like that, like start the momentum and just that little stop, stay nice and tight. I like to do my pause work significantly lighter than my main work for that reason, because it's positional. I don't want to over fatigue myself. Though there is benefit in there as well for doing heavier pause work too, which may come into my training later on down the road. So this was my heaviest set, the 240 for the 3. Now I've done 240 for 5 reps before. I've actually done 270 for triples before on a deadlift bar. So this is like nowhere near what I would have been capable of in the past. But for now, I'm really happy with this. This is a post-COVID PB. Not that I think COVID did me any severe amount of harm, but just, those couple of weeks becoming detrained, losing a bit of endurance, cardiovascular health wouldn't have been as good. I was pretty happy with how that moved. Overall, I think it was fine, and I'm pretty chuffed with it. So the accessories, I actually did these accessories later on in FlyFit, because when Vinny and I were training together, we got to abs, and Evan Wallace and his girlfriend Chloe, they were there training, so we got kind of chatting. So these accessories I felt a little more sluggish. I had more food. I was coming into work to train my clients. So again, things moved just a little slower than they would have otherwise. So I just dialed in the intensity. So I got my pull-ups done at bodyweight, bent over row at 70. That is like nothing. Bicep curl machine. These are nice little easy, low stress ways to push the biceps and the triceps. A bit of hammer curls, a little bit of a heavier load, just to feel some weight in the hands, and overhead tricep extension. So I would recommend, if you don't already, if you're a powerlifter, train the overhead position for triceps, like up here, because the long head of the tricep is not adequately hit in bench press. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw that in once a week. And then maybe hamstring curls, because again, the deadlift doesn't fully contract that hamstring. But overall, good day's training. I didn't actually do hamstring curls myself this week, and I've actually put it into next week because I wanted to see duration of sessions and what I could fit and what needed to keep and what needed to go. I like doing the arm stuff, but not because it's necessary, but because I didn't train arms really at all until 2020. A bit in the gym, and then Vinny and I during one of the lockdowns were training together, and we did a bit of arms, and I actually did see a little bit of gain, so I'd like to keep that going. So don't know if this video is going to load. These videos don't seem to be loading. Don't know if it's the internet or what the story is. Anyway, so we had belt squat 3x10. So 3x10 at 160 in plate. So I don't know the default load on the machine. Felt grand. Will increase load next week. Belt mildly uncomfortable on the hips. So this is not. Here we go. So this is the belt squat. We're absolutely banging it out there. Is that literally the start of the video? I must have cut out a rep. Anyway. So as you can see, the speed is great. I like using the belt squat as a means to load up the legs and the hips, but not worrying about the upper back, the thoracic spine, and the low back. You'll see a lot of lifters will actually fail their squat, not because of lack of leg strength, but lack of back strength. Mario walks right in the way of the camera. So this is why I threw this one in. Like, this would normally be a Friday workout, would normally have a variation like a Bulgarian split squat or something like that. So I just wanted to do something a little different because we have the tools there, and it was a bit of fun. All right, so we had dumbbell incline bench press 4x12 at 37.5. It felt okay. Mild anterior shoulder discomfort, could likely push the 40s. So I have never been a great presser, if I'm honest, with the dumbbells. So I'm happy with how these are moving. I have been, there's Grace McBrien, one of the PTs in FlyFit, just being a little camera hog. So I'm happy enough with how these moved. Again, I think the most I've pressed from the dumbbells in FlyFit was the 42.5s or 45s. I'd say now, strength-wise, I could definitely drive it up. But yeah, I like just having the different range of motion is a little nicer, and I'll likely progress with this for a while. It's also nice just to get off the barbell for a while and just experience some different variations. So this is a low incline, wouldn't be too high. Very nice feeling. Dumbbell RDL, controlled tempo, happy with how this felt, could increase next week. So kept the same dumbbells, threw a pair of wraps on, did them in my squat shoes, which probably isn't advisable, but I didn't give a fuck. I don't compete in the RDL. So I just wanted to get a little contraction on the hamstrings, control on the way down, feel the stretch, and then explode up, squeeze the glutes hard. Yeah, so this was just, again, a nice, easy one. We would normally do like a single leg RDL on the abs program, but for convenience sake, and because I was in work, I wanted to just get this done. So I just used these guys and just did both hamstrings at the same time. So yeah, happy with how everything's moving there. Feels good, and it's nice change. My accessories this day again, dips 3 by, push press 3x6, lateral raise 3x12. Ah yes, that's right. So here we are. Push press feels good, a little out of practice, but happy to progress next week. Dips anterior shoulder on right, moderate protest or any trip, but not unmanageable. Lateral raise, easy and controlled. Happy to stay at this load and maintain control. So I'm going to keep the lateral raises the way they are because I don't want to start swinging the shit out of them. The dips, I really want to progress to dips, but again, I'm going to just go what my shoulder allows. And push press was actually surprisingly fine. It felt easy enough. So push press is like a overhead presser with that little pop at the bottom. So happy with the control and my receiving position. Elbows could be a little higher, but my lats are a little like restricted just because I haven't done this in a while. So I'll likely get better as the weeks go on. 65 kilos for 6 reps. Happy enough with that. I used to do these for like 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, but I'm going to keep them a little lower because I don't want to be overloading the triceps and delts because I'm already doing so much for them. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of upper body work here. I would normally have prioritized lower body accessories, but again, I want to just get moving through the upper body. It's where I felt like I lost a lot of the size when I was sick with COVID. So I'm just going to bring some of these things back in like that. I like doing my dips. I like doing my pull-ups. So yeah, happy with how these went. That little extra 10 kilos adds quite a bit. That most I got up to was doing the sets of 8 with a 25 kilo plate. But I know I could definitely drive that up a little more. So yeah, day 3, a success. Let's take a final look across at day 4. So this was my, pardon me, heavy squat day, which I actually did yesterday on Sunday in FlyFit. I had actually been away over the weekend, so I didn't make it down to abs, didn't get back to swords till about 2 o'clock. So got down to the gym for about 1:30. So we had 2x3 on low bar squat. Then we had tempo squat 2x5. So both sets recorded. The load felt fine. Likely could increase. The tempo, I wrote 2x3, it was 2x5 on the tempos. The tempo, I'll actually correct that right now. The tempo was probably worse because just I was going super strict with I was very strict with the tempo. Like I was keeping to the 4010 or 402, yeah, 4012 even. So these were the top 2 sets. Let's see. So I believe this is the second set. This is the second set of my 215. So let's see how it moves. So depth's okay. Fine out of the hole. Happy with this. Yeah, it's probably like an RP 6 or 7. Slightly tipped forward there. It's just a problem of mine. It's something I need to work on. Trying to keep my head up and drive through my knee, push into my knees more rather than extending through my hips. But happy enough. I also have this habit of just moving the bar across because I always feel like I'm out of place in these racks just because they're so wide. For those wondering, these red plates are 25s. This is a black plate here. This is also a 25. It's just a different brand, 20 and a 5, a 2.5 collar. That is how we make the 215. So taking a look, this was actually the first set. As you can see, it's quite quiet on a Sunday. This is early enough. So yeah, no problems here whatsoever. Happy enough with this. Like heel is very slightly going toe heavy here, but this is the heaviest I've gone on squats post-COVID, so not too bad. It could be a little more balanced through my whole foot, but overall, fine. Nothing there I really want to excessively change. Happy enough how things are moving. Repping the Motion Masters t-shirt too. So we moved down onto bench. So it was 5x6, one set of 6 at 100. So I used this as part of the warm-up just to see how the right shoulder was. 3x6 at 110. Again, very easy. Slight discomfort in the right shoulder. Caused my elbow to flare slightly, but manageable. So the shoulder actually got better as the sets went along. So this was one of the sets here at 110. I think this was the third set or fourth set. So yeah, not bad at all. Happy with how the bar is moving. Very brief pause on the chest. So it's not just banging it off my chest and pressing, but it's also not long enough to be considered a pause. Just that brief stop, just to have a distinct difference between the concentric and eccentric portions of the movement. So this was the top set, 115 for 6. Again, it's nothing, the weight's not overly impressive. It's just a matter of getting in and getting the work done. Again, it's the first week. I want to give myself somewhere to go. If I was pushing this to like 120, 125, 130 now, I'd be backing myself into a corner. Very little place to progress to, and I'd be pushing that load far too early. So yeah, happy with how this is. And most importantly, it's been a very, very consistent week. I'm really happy with how it went. So trap bar deadlift, threw this in just for a little bit of volume and a bit more of an upright torso position. You can see I still have my squat shoes on, no belt, with squat shoes, with straps, felt grand, could increase next week. So absolutely no problems. This is 158 kilos because this trap bar is 28 and I have what would make 150 kilo on plate, so 158. Yeah, speed is fine. Feel nice in the quads as I drive down hard. Probably mostly because I'm in the squat shoes, but overall, yeah, nice easy one just to have in. This would usually be on the abs program as 3x12, but I just don't want to push the volume that high this early. I may bring the volume up as time goes on, but yeah, happy with how everything's moving there. These are the accessories. So I did my pen day rows 4x8 at 100 and pull-ups 3x6 at bodyweight. So I did accessories on Saturday in the Kia Dean hotel in the gym plus extra. Workout duration was approx 2.5 hours, dragged out when I got to trap bar, got caught talking to people, left out arm accessories. I did full session on Saturday in the hotel, hit each of these movements plus extra. So on the Saturday when I was way down in Newbridge, I did hamstring curls, 3x10, 3x12, leg extensions, 3x12, lat pull downs, 3x12. I did some face pulls with some tricep push downs. I did some cable lateral raises with some bicep curls on the cable. I did reverse flies and dumbbell bench press 3x10 or 3x12 on each of those with 35s. So I got a good bit done, walked a little bit on the treadmill as well. So that is why I cut some of these out, just because I could have done them, but I just wanted to leave off some of the volume going into next week's training. So that was my training for the week. Those are my 4 days. So there they are there, completed, and I have the program ready to go here for next week. As you can see, I've added in the hamstring curl and I've lowered the sets on the arm work this week. Again, don't feel like I need to be doing 4 sets on everything, so that was probably just a passing fancy when I wrote it. The only thing I would probably look to adjust around is maybe including some more leg accessories, a split squat, a lunge, a leg extension, something just to get a little bit more quad volume. I've got like a squat variation every day, but I get on really well with squats. I can squat a lot and it's fine. So yeah, this is the interface. This is True Coach. This is what I use for clients. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, guys. This is my first week of training in my new block and really enjoying it. So I'll hopefully be able to check in with you again next week with the same idea. We'll just look how I'm getting on during the week as the weeks go on, and I'll let you know. And when things change, you'll get to see. So you're kind of going to be involved a little bit more with the training. If it's something that's interesting weekly, I'll do it weekly. If not, maybe I'll check in once a month and just do a big video. Anyway, gang, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good day, and I'm hopefully going to be back with you with some new content very soon, all right? The usuals apply. You can get me on Instagram at IronIanPT. That's for a question. If you want to talk, give me a topic to talk about, whether it's a question about personal training or online coaching, let me know. This is the interface for online coaching. On my end, you get an app and it's all delivered similar to this. So any questions about it, any interest, let me know, and I'll catch you next time, gang. Cheers.